Okay, so have you ever bumped into, I don't know, like a concept or an idea that just makes you stop and rethink how everything
You mean
works?
like those moments when you stumble across something so different, it's like looking at the world through a completely new lens?
Yeah, exactly. And today we are diving deep into one of those. We're calling it 1-1, at least that's what we're gathering from this excerpt we're looking at.
It's a system, or at least that's what it seems to be describing. A system for, well, potentially everything. How we live, how we work, how we interact.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher. And to add to the fun, the whole thing is written in Hebrew. So we're translating as we go, which honestly makes it even more intriguing.
Like deciphering a secret code to unlock a whole new way of organizing society.
Exactly. So, to try to break this down, everyone in this system, they're all considered kings and
I
queens.
know, right? Sounds a little out there, but bear with it.
It does make you wonder if they actually get tiny little crowns or something.
I'm picturing more like those little plastic ones you get at, birthday parties.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
maybe not. But seriously, when you dig into it, it seems less about actual royalty and more about this radical idea of equal standing and power. Like everyone gets an equal say, which honestly, in any other context, sounds pretty impossible.
It is a radical departure from our typical hierarchical structures, that's for sure.
Right. So then they've got these things called fabrics, which are basically like super focused teams or partnerships. They're saying you find and join the fabrics that best match your skills and values, and you contribute there.
So instead of ending up in a soul-crushing job that doesn't resonate with you, this system is suggesting that you can find a way to contribute that aligns with your passions and purpose.
It's like, what if work wasn't something you dreaded, but was something you genuinely looked forward to?
And imagine being surrounded by like-minded individuals who share your drive and enthusiasm.
Okay, but now for the really interesting part. All the decisions within these fabrics, they're made with unanimous consent. Unanimous, as in everyone, every single person has to agree.
That's right, and that's where the real challenge comes in, trying to wrap our heads around the logistics of it all. We're so used to majority rules, or even just someone at the top making the calls.
Honestly, I can barely get my friends to agree on where to eat. How could this possibly work on a larger scale?
It's a fair question. It does make you think, could it actually lead to a more equitable and collaborative environment? Or would it just descend into chaos and indecision?
It's like, is this a recipe for amazing synergy or a total standstill?
Right. Now, to be fair, there are some interesting parallels to things like cooperatives or even DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, which we've talked about before.
For those who missed that episode, DAOs are basically organizations run by code on a blockchain. So it's like a company operating on autopilot based on preset rules. The idea is to create a more transparent and democratic system.
Exactly. And while those systems often aim for consensus, they don't necessarily require full, unanimous agreement from every single member.
So this 1-1 system is taking that concept to a whole other level. And then there's the financial side of things. Get this, they're talking about distributed financial management and profit sharing based on actual contribution to the fabric.
So rather than having a traditional hierarchy with a few people at the top reaping most of the benefits, they're suggesting a system where everyone shares in the success based on their actual input.
Right, which, again, sounds great in theory, but could it work in reality? And what does that even look like day to day? But hold on, it gets even wilder. This excerpt mentions something called a global agreement on freedom and security.
Yeah, that's where things start to feel really big picture, almost like this excerpt is hinting at not just a new way to work or structure a company, but an entirely different model for society itself.
Okay, so we've thrown a lot at you. Let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. For those listening, why does any of this matter?
Even if this specific system, this 1-1, seems a little out there, it forces us to confront some really fundamental questions. Like, what if we could reimagine how we work, how we collaborate, and even how we measure success? What would that look like?
It's like holding up a mirror to our current systems and asking, does this still serve us, or could we be doing it better?
And here's the final kicker. The excerpt ends with a call to action of sorts. It invites you to add your consent to a world freedom trust.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, what does giving consent in this context even mean? Is this a philosophical exercise, a thought experiment, or is this something more tangible, something they're actually trying to build in the real world?
And that, dear listener, is the question we'll leave you with. We've given you the pieces. Now it's up to you to assemble the puzzle and see what picture emerges.